there's a lot of, and this irritates me, and you'll see it on some of my social media stuff where you do see it, is that I cannot stand slumlords. I cannot stand people that provide homes to people, but they don't maintain the property and the property looks like shit. And people live like animals. It's disgusting. And I like that, yes, most of my investments are the low income space, but I treat them as if they high-class citizens.
As if you're going to stay there one day.
Yes.
You build it as though you're going to stay there.
And that's a lesson if you're a landlord and you are doing well and you're doing well in property and you're like, oh, I want to keep more of the profit. I don't want to renovate the roof after 5 years. One, it's going to end up costing a lot more when it does collapse.
More money, yeah.
Two, it's unethical. It's wrong. It's not. Tenants, it's that broken window philosophy. You take a street, you have a broken window. Now the lawn's not kept on the street. Now the walls start peeling. My buildings look the nicest in every area, but it's amazing. If you give people something to be proud of, they'll be proud and they'll take care and they'll feel like they're letting you down. All our Touchwood, all our tenants pay. They all pay because they know we treat them like gold. It's not just, I think we get so into the numbers and so into the business and the processes that make sure you've got an A or B credit record and TPN. Make sure yes, that's the fundamentals. But you also got to know, once you've got the tenant in there, they're going to treat your place like shit if you treat them like shit and you don't maintain their place and you're not attentive to their issues. They are your clients. And don't be a slumlord. That's the big thing. And I think because we're good to our tenants and we're providing good homes, it's a rewarding job.
So if you were given an opportunity to do it all over again in terms of your career, at what point would you start working for yourself?
It's hard to say because you know what you don't know, right? It's I'm very blessed. I've had challenges, but I'm very blessed the way things have worked out. If I look to the past, I can never move forward. So I wouldn't change a thing, to be honest, because I'm right now talking to you because of the many mistakes I've made. Yes, I only woke up in my 30s, but sometimes when you're young, you're not exposed to certain things. You're unaware of certain things. I'd maybe say, I wish I read more.
Growing up, I always thought all white people know something about property.
No, we don't.
I kid you not. Like, I always believed that as long as someone is white, you thought that as well, right? That as long as someone is white, they probably know about property from the time they're 18. In fact, I thought your parents bought you an apartment at 18 or something.
No. And I thank my parents for that. I used to be upset with them because I've got very fortunate friends because I did go to a very good school. And that is that I wanted what they wanted. Why do they get a car when they're 18? Why do they get this when they're 21 and that? And I thought, parents don't love me, or why are they being so full of rubbish? But no, it's like, maybe it's a white kid thing, I don't know. But there is sometimes a bit of entitlement that gets created, which is wrong. And because I had to work for every cent I have, you value it more. You have hunger. You take away hunger from someone and you make life easy for them. They actually have a very hard life. Where if you have a hard life, you actually can come up on
Do you
top.
think then, like that, you talked about entitlement, entitlement that we have as a people, you could be white or black. I mean, entitlement is entitlement, right? Creates some sort of hard life for the people that are entitled.
Well, you think you deserve it just because of you. You're not willing to put in the work. You're not willing to learn. It's like a victim mentality. Why me?
Entitlement is like a victim mentality. I expand that statement.
Well, if I'm not willing to take action to do anything about my circumstances, but complain about it, am I a victim?
Of course you are.
A victim doesn't have control. A victim can't change the narrative.
And the entitlement part, how does it tie in with that?
Well, entitlement, you deserve something. You think you deserve something.
Yeah, I'm entitled.
So there's no action. It should just be given to you.
Right. And it's not given.
Yes, I don't like believing in being away or surrounding myself around people that are not willing to change or take action or change the way they do things.
Yeah, but with you, have you always had that, or you did say you've always had that mindset because you're a grandfather?
Yes.
Right? So if you were to be put in a space where people are saying, but I'm not as fortunate as you have been to have a grandfather who can teach and impart knowledge. What sort of things do you think you would say to that person to shift their mindset to go the right direction?
Well, all successful people, they became successful also because they had someone that had an impact on their lives.
For sure.
So it's not necessary for me. It was fortunate where it's my grandfather and my father taught me about finances, but it can be a podcast you watch. It can be someone you admire. It can be a book. It can be Robert Kiyosaki just changing your mindset about how to think about money. It can be a friend, surrounding yourself with the right friends, the right people. Reaching out on LinkedIn, being that awkward person sliding into some CEO's DM and asking for advice. Most will tell you to go away in a nice
I'm
way.
surprised you're saying Robert Kiyosaki because you haven't attended his events in 15 years.
Well, I don't want to say why. But look, his principles are excellent. His book is excellent. His mindset around money is excellent. His view on cryptocurrencies and his salesy conferences are not. But if you don't have the network or people around you or anyone that you can surround yourself around to get this, get it from media that is trusted and information that is trusted.
Yeah, so it's basically about channeling your effort towards things that are going to give themselves back to you. So if you're giving yourself to a good book,
yes,
that book is giving itself back to you in terms of what you're learning from it and what you can apply, right?
No.
And then a good podcast or a good conversation is actually meant to drive you to a certain destination.
Yes, and that's how you figure it out, right?
So with this conversation between me and you, in your mind, where do you want our viewers to be driven to? What place do you want them to arrive to after listening to this conversation?
Be inquisitive, have a thirst for knowledge, want to learn more, but start making their own decisions. You want, if anything you get out of this episode, can I call it an episode?
It's an episode.
I'll be honest, I don't even know where to look. Yeah. I should lock eyes with you like a long lost love, or I should look there.
Yeah.
Is that if there's one takeaway you get out of this, is that at the end of this, you take action. You do something about your life. You don't become a passenger where you allow others to dictate your future and your life, and you don't complain or be a victim about your circumstances. Everyone has circumstances. Everyone has a degree of adversity, some worse than others. Some do have a head start, some don't. Sorry to say, that is life. I'm going to piss off some people, but that is life. You can't control that. You've given the hand that you dealt. But complaining about it isn't going to make you successful. It isn't going to make you have a big impact on others. It isn't going to have an effect on your life. Accept it.